Hello, and welcome to another Scoresheet Baseball podcast. Today's podcast will be a little brief as I am going solo today. I'll talk about a couple of Scoresheet questions we've received in the past week and also a couple strategies. Then next week's podcast we'll have someone on from one of the websites that gives advice to folks, maybe baseballprospectus.com or Ron Chandler's baseballhq.com. We'll ask those folks what statistics they use to help predict players' future performance. Anyhow, on to questions. Matthew Sutton posted a question on our Facebook page this week asking how the program determines how far a base runner advances in a game on a base hit. The main thing used by the program for that is the base runner's speed. We measure speed by their number of major league runs scored, steals, and triples. And then also things that factor into that determination of how far they advance is the pitcher's ERA and the number of RBIs in real life the batter had. But the main thing that determines how far a base runner advances is that base runner's speed. You know, one thing that baseball announcers seem to talk about all the time is that a man on second base is in scoring position. And then they imply that there's almost no use to getting to third base with 2 outs since that base runner is sure to score on a single from second base. But in fact, in the major leagues, only about 70% of the time does a base runner on second score on a single. Obviously, the faster the runner, the higher the number, and the slower the runner, the lower the number. But it's just not true that there's no difference between second and third. 30% of the time, a guy does not score on a single. We hold to that same percentage in Scoresheet. So, like I said, Juan Pierre is going to score more from second on a single than David Ortiz is, both in real life and in Scoresheet. But neither one of them is going to score 100% of the time. Let's see, another couple questions we've received has to do with setup men. Anybody in your bullpen that you give an earliest inning of 6 or later is considered a setup man, and that means they will not come in the game if you're behind by 3 or more runs. So if you find yourself having relievers that are not getting used, and folks are getting pulled from your farm system or even AAA pitchers used, what you ought to do is give more of your pitchers an earliest inning to be used. Likewise with a closer, some folks use a 9 as the earliest inning for their closer, and then they wonder why their closer has less innings pitched in Scoresheet than they do in real life. I've pretty much always used an 8 for an earliest inning. You know, if I'm ahead by 1 or 2 runs and my closer has enough innings, I'm happy to have him pitch 2 innings. Let's see, one other thing on the lineup card is some folks don't seem to know that you can actually type positions into that position box. You're not stuck with whatever is showing when you open your lineup card. So if you've got someone that you just had outfield listed for and you want to add first base, just click on the position box for that player and simply type in outfield-first base, and they'll be eligible to play both positions. As far as lineup card strategies, what you want to do is put high on-base percentage guys in the top of your lineup. You really don't want to worry about steals. You know, it's more important to have a guy on base when your home run hitters come up than it is to have him steal second base or possibly get thrown out trying to steal second base. So I think that the most successful lineup strategies involve your best on-base percentage players batting first and second, and then your best sluggers hitting third and fourth. If you got a guy that steals a lot of bases, he might even be more valuable near the bottom of the order, where the guy batting after him is not very likely to hit a home run, but might get a single that would score him from second after he does steal a base. And by the way, along with these podcasts, we do have a few how-to videos about filling out lineup cards, various Scoresheet strategies, draft tips, etc. On our website, there's a navigation bar at the top of the page. One of those drop-down menus is called Scoresheet Links. If you go to that and then you click on the How-To Videos link, you'll see the half dozen videos we've come up designed to help you out. As a final note, I'd like to warn you all, I recently traded for Adam Dunn. Now, like most fantasy players, I am convinced anyone I trade for is immediately jinxed. So I thought I'd give fair warning. If you're thinking of acquiring Dunn or you have him on your team, you should be aware he's due for a fall. And then finally, speaking of trades, you know, we've put that message board up on our website where it's very easy now to broadcast a message to your entire league. And what a lot of people now do is they put a simple note saying, I have Jones available for a trade. The problem with doing that without giving folks any idea of what you expect in return is that you're really going to get a lot of lowball offers, I have found. Instead, maybe say I have Jones available and I'm looking for a top starting pitcher. Or if he's not very good, say you're looking for a backup catcher. But give folks an idea of what you expect. Because if you get a lowball offer, you're probably going to be unhappy with the offer. You're not even going to respond, and the trade talk will go nowhere. But if you put a reasonable request out there, folks have an idea of what to offer, and hopefully the trade talks will actually lead to a trade. Thanks, and have a great week of baseball.